so I think they're gonna make you say that you know it's going live. Hit approve on that one.
Okay.
All right. Did it ask that question yet?
No, it hasn't asked me yet.
Okay. All right. What about now?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, we can get going. It's live now. It should have asked for your authorization. Make sure you knew.
I see it in the left hand corner, but it's not lit up. It just says live, but it's not lit up. So I don't know.
Okay. Now we go rock and roll. So
All right.
real quick, I want to make sure that our audience kind of know what's happening. So let me just begin us with our introductions. Hello, everyone. Your host, Cy Smith, coming to you on the last Wednesday of the fourth month of this year. You guys know this year is going. We're 4 months in, about to be 5 months in. And every Wednesday is Economic Day to our national network. And y'all know how we get down. We want to see our community come together, support each other, do business with each other. And who I'm about to bring to you today is another opportunity for us to do just that, to be there for each other, support each other. This black man came to me through our superstar out of Gary, Indiana, Fredra Pulliam. You guys know Fredra, the Glen Park governor, and she's always out there in the community interfacing with our people. So without further ado, let me bring this brother up. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
You know, man, every day I'm grateful. That's what I do.
All
Every day
right.
I look at the grateful side. So that's what I am. And tell our audience, man, what's your name?
My name is Harry Hutchinson.
Now, Harry, where you from, man?
I'm from Gary, Indiana, born and raised in Gary, Indiana.
Uh-oh, well, you know, they go by high school. So what high school?
West side, the best side.
All right, West Side. So now you go turn off our Lou Wallace people, our Roosevelt people. So,
No, I'm not turning you all off. I don't mean I'm quite sure they got pride as well. They got high school pride. I'm quite sure. We all
no,
do.
I'm Chicago, but I learned quickly how Gary get down when it comes to the high school. So I'm ostracized, but I love all y'all, man.
All right. I appreciate it. We
Now,
appreciate it.
now, tell our people though, how did you come in contact with Frederick? What's y'all track history?
Actually, Fredra is my aunt, biological aunt, and got my own trucking business started. Um, Came into a situation, needed some help, and I was unaware until you just made the introduction that Fredra was even the Glen Park governor or whatnot. I didn't know until now that she was. She didn't really let me know that until you said it. But
She's so
anyways,
humble, bro. You see, I'm gonna talk to her because she's so humble with it. She didn't even tell her own family.
yeah, yeah, I was just looking for some help, and she was like, "Well, I may not have exactly what you need, but I can put you in a guy in contact with you, Cyron Smith." And they reached out in a few days. Said, "I'm gonna have Cyron Smith call you," and then you called me last Wednesday.
Well, the beauty though, I'm from Chicago. We had 20 neighborhoods, zip codes in Chicago with a governor. Frederick is the governor out here. It's a governor in every zip code in Chicago. And each zip code has one city that it's responsible for. So 60653, which is Bronzeville, is responsible for Gary, Indiana, and vice versa. Gary supports Bronzeville. So as we talk about what we're getting ready to do, we're going to be first leaning on that network first. So what can 60653 do to support what we're about to talk about? Because that keeps everything in the system. And if they can't do it, then we can escalate it, elevate it to get more zip codes in. But man, our whole track record and history is about how do we circulate dollars with each other to support each other and make sure that we're good because we know what we up against collectively.
Yes,
So, man,
definitely.
let our audience know, who are you, Harry? You a young man. You got children. What made you get into trucking? You know, give us a little background about who you are.
Um, 38 years old, calling out of Gary, Indiana. Went through the whole college thing. Was in college for a while. Was doing electrical work. Pretty much always had a passion for trucking, but the stigma that's attached with it, we're all dumb, fat, overweight, nasty, sloppy. That's pretty much the
Wow.
overall perception of truckers. Even though I had a burning desire in my heart to be a truck driver. So a few years back, I got into trucking, learned more about it, was able to get my own truck, do a lot of things, really elevate myself. I have two children, two sons. That's about it. I mean,
Yeah. Now, when you say you got into it, so COVID it takes us 36 months back, 3 years. So you got into it before COVID or during the COVID?
no, I got into it. I got into it back in I actually got my CDL in January of 2017. So before
Oh,
COVID.
okay. Okay. All right. So you was already heading down that path. Now, are you worried about going into trucking when they got these self-driven trucks coming?
No, actually, because the infrastructure, because before I get in the trucking, I was actually like 20 credits away from being an electrical engineer, but that really wasn't a passion of mine. But what I learned was the amount of infrastructure that's needed to actually support self-driving trucks on a massive scale
Right. Right.
isn't here.
Yeah.
They often, and I kind of like do my research and homework because I actually have a passion for trucking. Every now and then they do a self-driving truck, but there's always a guy in it. Every now and then they'll do a self-driving truck from
Right.
Arizona to Dallas, but then
Right.
they report later that there's a guy that was a guy in the truck the entire ride, which kind of defeated the purpose.
Wait. I'm sure the lawmaker said, no, you better have somebody in there, or else we're not gonna permit you to do that for now.
Yeah, or something like it is always, and it typically comes out after the ride is
Right.
complete that, oh, there was a guy in the truck the whole time. Well, yeah, I mean, but I do feel like we can progress to that, but it would take a lot of years. It would take maybe a few decades to actually have self-driving cars and semi trucks on the road
Yeah, I agree.
at scale.
So the reason I asked that, so our audience can get somewhat informed about the trucking world, that we're not talking about going into something that's dying in the next 5 years, next 10 years. So you just answered that question, that it's going to be a little while before it's really able to be autonomous, without
Yes.
physical labor. All right. Now, going back to the whole trucking piece, I personally believe that Black people, the next 50 to 100 years, travel, transportation, information jobs, and real estate is the way forward for Black people because of where society is right now, how we can tap into that. And so when it comes to you guys as truck drivers, we're working in Mississippi, and we believe straight up 55 from the bottom, the Gulf of Mexico, all the way up to St. Paul, that we need to have our own trucks moving products and moving goods and services all up and down, and then east and west, along 80. So it's an honor to meet you, man, because my mother-in-law has an 18-wheeler. She got other people 18. So we got a little Black network of truck drivers. And every July, we try to get all you guys together to talk about synergy and how to be there for each other and support each other financially.
Yes, most definitely. Most
All
definitely.
right. So let's get to why we on here, man. The crust of it is we have an opportunity to come together and support you. And so I want to make sure the audience know what's needed, why it's needed, and then I'm going to talk about why we should support you. So what's needed first and why it's needed?
Well, DPF removal is needed.
What you call it? Who?
DPF, diesel particulate filter system. Repair or removal is needed because it's just causing a lot of unnecessary problems. A lot of
Wait, what is
problems
that? I'm ignorant. You said BP what?
DPF, diesel particulate fluid. Pretty much, these are, in a nutshell, it's filters placed behind the exhaust that causes the engine to have a hard time breathing, but they're actually doing more harm than good. You see what I'm saying? Because every time a truck, after about 3 or 4 years, is the engine is great, which my engine is great, but the actual DPF system is preventing the problem, the truck from running properly, pretty
Now,
much.
do you have to? Does any of that have to do with the emission test? Like you won't pass any emission tests, or no?
Well, they don't really emission test trucks per se.
Okay.
They don't really do that. That's what the purpose of the DPF system is for, is to eliminate or kind of calm down the emissions.
Okay.
And
Okay.
but it's doing more harm than good. Even for one truck guy such as myself, or guys that big mega companies with 10, 20,000 trucks, it's causing more problems. Even talks that they're talking about pivoting and doing it another way because it's so much of a hassle to even mechanics. Some mechanics won't even look at the truck if you're saying DPF problems. Some mechanics won't even look at it. They'll
Is
tell you
it
to delete it.
expensive?
It's very expensive, and it's not like you can delete it or you can get it repaired. Both are expensive, but to get it deleted, it's just a one-time deal. But to get it repaired and you'll run it for maybe 9 months, and it's not so much that it broke down 9 months later, it's just that it's now another expensive repair that, again, a lot of mechanics don't really either know about or want to be bothered with. And the few they do know about it or want to be bothered with it, they're arming a leg.
Now, what does that mean? Like, help our audience that might be ignorant like me. What's an arm and leg? $50, $100, $10,000? What?
Armor the leg is about 10,000. Armor the leg would be about 10,000 on a repair, even if you're an owner operator or if it's a truck that you just have. I would say armor the leg would be 8 to 10 grand. 50 or 10, $50, $100, $500. That's kind of to be expected as an owner operator. You kind of, but yeah, I would say, like I said, any 8 to 10 grand on the same system of the truck. That's not really even the motor. Is the DPF system, the emission system, the emission treatment system is almost like an add-on, but required by the DOT. So all manufacturers had to kind of get in line with that. And it kind of, they didn't really test it. They just kind of passed the law, put it on all trucks. And then now it's been out since 2008, and it's been pretty much in law since 2007, 2008. And now you got, like I said, you got mechanics that don't want to be bothered, or you got mechanics that tell you to delete it. It's DPF, and because they don't really have a emission testing system like they do have with cars.
Now, so if you delete it though, aren't you going to get in trouble down the line?
Nah, because DOT isn't really authorized to get that deep into your truck to check if it's been deleted or not in the first place.
But yeah, because I just want to make sure our audience don't think that we're going to be involved in some things that's not authorized. So that's cool. So what is it that you need?
Well, DPF, I would say DPF deletion, but it's done via computer though. It's not really a thing you can buy. It's done more or less like, because that's how they kind of integrate the actual DPF into the system. Yeah, you have components, but the overall computer, the actual program of the computer, the electrical control module would have to be and there are people out here that can do that in the span of an hour. But it's kind of expensive because they know if they do it and they do it right, they ain't gonna have no problems no more. So they're there. And I mean, I can understand.
Yeah. Right. That's their business. So right. So how much is that?
Right on the nose, about 2,800. Right on the nose, without taxes, without anything accessories, about 2,800.
And when you and I talked beforehand, and you told me that, I said let's just shoot for $3,000 because it's an easier number for people to mentally digest, 3 versus 28. And so as I explained to you, the way I see it is everything that we do is about all of our zip codes, and there's people inside the zip codes. Inside the zip codes are truck drivers, teachers, doctors, lawyers. It's all the professions out there. And what we always want to do is to be able to pull together a lot of people so that we don't ask for a lot of money from people. So we got a lot of people doing something small. Now they get to know that they was a part of something that helped without us burdening down two people to come up with, $1,400 a piece. So it's easier to ask, 3,000 people to send $1 or to ask 1,000 people to send $3. So what you think about that concept, that idea?
Most definitely. It's a great concept. As we spoke earlier, I said down the road, I would most definitely like to be, a guy that's contributing quarterly or monthly or whatnot, to the cause,
Mm-hmm.
just to pay it forward. But I most definitely think it's a great idea. It's a great concept because I mean, not everybody has $1,400 just laying around that isn't
Well,
already allotted for.
they say most Americans can't meet a $400 expense. So yeah, and that's
Right,
every
expense,
race.
yeah.
So yeah, so what we want to do right now, how are we going to classify it? You need $3,000 by what date, and then is this a loan or this is a donation? How do you see it? What would you like? What would be ideal for you?
Ideal would be as soon as possible being ideal would be as soon as possible being a donation. However, I understand that that may not be always ideal for the people that can facilitate that as well.
Right.
So it could be a loan.
Now, on that note, because this is the way I see it, the speed of it, getting 1,000 people to do $3 might take longer, right? But
Yes.
at least that's a donation because people ain't gonna loan you $3 and hey, get my $3 back. Whereas if
Right.
that's taking too long, then that switches over to our $100 people having 30 people put up their $100 and that takes care of you, because we want everyone to know, like, this is for us. This is for us to be there for each other. So that's the purpose of this. And people never know when you might be on the receiving end needing to be supported. So I love that about our network. We'll see where it go. I'm a spiritual guy. I just know you got to put it out there and what God say go be. So that's how that rolls. But I'm glad to hear you say the ideal scenario would be donation, grant. But worst case scenario, you understand and paying it back so that people can get it to you quicker. Now, how are you gonna make the money? Like, are you missing money now? You in the truck right now? That's your truck now?
Yeah, I'm in my truck right now. I do have another position, and it's a 1099 position. I could take my LLC and go run for someone else in their truck while my truck sits. That would be like, but if I got the money soon, then I would be able to get the repairs within that day and be running within like maybe a few days. If I got the money, as soon as I get the money, whether I'm able to run for it or whatever, it's not going to take me long to get back to rolling, get back to business essentially.
And I think I can hear my mother-in-law and her connections on the trucking where I can hear their ears perk up when you said that. So this is more than enough information. We showed them who you were as a person, who you're connected with, your aunt, and what the need is and what you're willing to do. So we covered everything. Any questions you have, any feedback?
No, I appreciate the opportunity though. That's the only feedback I have is I appreciate the opportunity. Appreciate just the time right now. I just overall appreciate it. I really do.
And again, everything that happens, right, it's so that people can see themselves also on the other end. Like, we want people to know, you just said it. You go pay it forward. You go help somebody else out. And if everyone is helping, there's a lot of help to be to help people out there.
Most definitely it is. Most definitely is.
All right. So if people want to get in touch with you, I'm gonna have them go through me so I can kind of measure how this is going, and then we'll talk about how to get resources over to you directly. All right.
All right, Mr. Smith, I appreciate it, and you have a great day.
All right, thank you guys. 312-405-8844. That's how you reach Cy Smith. 312-405-8844. Remember, you guys, when the call comes out, when someone requests, now the burden is on you. Do you feel it in your spirit to respond? We believe in no pressure. If God don't move you to act, don't act, because it's God who directs us, and it's up to us to respond.